Hello, I'm Mark Abssy, Head of Indexing at Tematica Research, and welcome to the week ahead. So, last week, honestly, there was so much packed into last week, it felt like a month, right? Tariff guessing, will it, won't it, how much, how little, dominated basically headlines all last week, and we saw markets move accordingly, up, down, and all around. And when we actually look at markets, again, Dow up 3, S&P up 2.9, NASDAQ Composite up 3.4, and Russell up about 3.2. So, overall a strong week. If you were to look at just the week's returns, you would say, oh, actually it's a pretty good week. There still was some tumult in there. One of the things we saw, of course, was the end of April. And April, as you'll recall, was even more tumultuous than even last week. Net April, I think, was pretty much a wash, actually. So, supposedly there's that old curse about may you live in interesting times. I think that's exactly where we are right now, especially when it comes to markets and tariffs and all those things. Now, just a small housekeeping note, we did update our fact sheets for the end of April. And for those of you who are playing along at home, we do update these fact sheets monthly. We update the comments and investment rationale monthly as well, to the extent that there are items that are changing the mid to long-term outlook for each of the strategies. So if you did look at March's update and now you look at April's and say, oh, there's not really a lot of changes here, what's going on? These guys getting lazy. Honestly, that's not the case. We do see a lot of the longer term rationales for these strategies continue to play out. We understand that there's a lot of upheaval right now with tariffs and kind of re-table setting and all those things. However, it's our view that while things may not go back to, quote, normal, everything will get settled out. And indeed, to that end, at the end of the week, we saw stories about, China and the U.S., depending on who you're talking to, of course, China and the U.S. Talking about tariff issues, deals being pondered, et cetera, et cetera. Now, one of the areas, for this week coming up, of course, is earnings, and in that we see a lot of, honestly, what wouldn't necessarily be considered automakers before are automakers now. Clearly, Ford in both camps, and it's going to be interesting, of course, because we do still have tariffs on with Canada. Ford, of course, does a lot of production in southern Ontario and other parts of the country, and so we're looking to see what their comments are about tariffs. Now, Trump has said that, it's okay, autos aren't going to be included, but we still have to see exactly what that looks like. Carney, the new Prime Minister of Canada, is supposed to be meeting with Trump. I'm sure they will talk tariffs. Carney seems to, there is this perception, and it's well deserved, that Canadians are kind of nice and polite people. They are, just don't back them into a corner. They are not afraid to stand up for what they believe in, and of course their own rights. So it's going to be an interesting conversation. So far, Trump's kind of attitude towards Canada and pretty much everyone else he's been talking to has largely been dismissive. So we'll see if that changes and where those conversations go. So, Ford reporting this week for the well-heeled among us, Ferrari, we're going to hear from them. There have been chatterings among some of the luxury car brands that they would limit, if not eliminate, imports to the U.S. Again, we're interested to see what Ferrari says about what they've been seeing so far, and then, of course, what they see going forward. On the EV side, Lucid and Rivian are going to be reporting as well. And again, it's just interesting to hear what these guys have to say. Both car companies have a unique product. It's of well, Lucid anyway bills itself as a high touch product, kind of a white glove product. Again, same with Rivian. You know, they have good build quality. So far, the reviews have been good. They're still in business, so that in this day and age is saying something. Rivian, of course, has some fleet contracts, right? They built the latest fleet of Amazon electric trucks. I believe that they have at least one or two other fleet contracts, so that gives them a little runway to build out their product line, which they are doing. They do have this development deal with Volkswagen about building. I think it's 2 or 3 smaller versions of their R1, of their R1S, their SUV. So, sorry about that. Also on the auto side, Carvana. So, of course, it's interesting to hear from them what kind of sales numbers they're seeing, what price points, etc. There's actually quite a bit of earnings coming out this week from a bunch of different areas, right? Berkshire had their meeting over the weekend. You know, the Oracle of Omaha decided to hang him up, and so you know, we'll see what the market feels about that. His transition, though, has been a long time coming. You know, planned very well. The folks that are going to be running the portfolio have been in their respective positions for a few years now. So not expecting a huge tumult in, you know, Berkshire A or B shares. We'll just see what's what. They did confirm that I think their cash position now is up to like $350 billion. So they're clearly waiting for something to happen. We're just not quite sure what. Disney and Warner Brothers will be reporting as well, so interesting to see what they're seeing. Disney, of course, on the park side, and then both companies on the entertainment side as well, streaming, etc. Mercado Libre, DoorDash, you know, what are people buying, where are they buying it, how are they getting it? DoorDash, of course, always interested to hear about what additional fees they've been able to extract for their services and where they see that going. On the tech side of things, Palantir is going to be reporting, DigitalOcean and AMD, right? I think Cloudflare is also going to be reporting as well. And so, CrowdStrike. So we're going to get some color there on those names. Palantir, of course, you know, big data, big everything, right? Lots of government contracts. Interesting to see again who is buying from them, what they are buying from them. Let's see, on the consumer, I guess retail side, Shopify, AppLovin are going to be reporting as well. We'll see Affirm and Global Payments, and of course, we're interested to see, again, what do these companies see about the state of payments? What does Affirm see about who is using their platform for what? What kind of delinquencies are they seeing? What kind of allowances are they making? And all of these kinds of things. So, you know, lots of scrutiny on, you know, the health of the consumer and where they see that going. ConocoPhillips is going to be reporting as well, and this is interesting because it was just last week, or maybe even over the weekend, that OPEC Plus came out and said, oh, by the way, we're basically going to be increasing production, right? So for the kind of tinfoil hat crowd, you know, is that Saudi and other Arab friends doing a favor for Trump to help rein in inflation in the form of lower energy prices? I believe what they said was they have member countries that basically aren't adhering to restricted quotas anyway. And so this is, I guess, kind of a form of punishment for those countries not playing along in that if they're selling more oil to make more money, well, if the overall price of oil is lower, they will make less money and, learn their lesson. We'll see what happens. Either way, lower energy prices, good all around, right? Maybe not for energy investors, but certainly for the rest of us. And indeed, last week we saw the only sector that was down was energy, down about 50 basis points. So, the sector's starting to feel that. We'll see what happens and how much that works its way into this week. Just trying to think other things here. Constellation Energy going to be reporting. I mean, honestly, at this point, they're basically kind of a data center energy proxy, right? Made a lot of news with that. Restarting 3 Mile Island on behalf of Microsoft for new data centers. Haven't seen too much of an update on that, but assumedly that'll be part of what they talk about in their earnings call. In terms of economic data, not to sidestep it's not really an elephant, but, Fed meeting this week. Ahead of the Fed meeting, we are going to get some PMI services figures. Expectations is that they're going to be lower, but that they will still end up above 50. Of course, again, 50 is your dividing line. Anything north, expansion. Anything south, contraction. So given that manufacturing has kind of fallen off the last couple of reporting periods, it'll be interesting to see if services still can hang in there above 50. Now, so back to the Fed meeting. They've been in blackout up in, for the last week or so. It's something like a 97% chance that they're going to stand firm, right? No change. That's what's priced into the Fed funds futures curve. There really is no expectation that the Fed is going to move. Again, interesting to hear what Chair Powell has to say. Also interesting to hear what the reaction is going to be out of the White House. Clearly, Trump's been kind of pounding the table on, we need lower rates. And, part of that conversation is, small rate give big stock. But, we know that things are more nuanced than that. And so, again, paying attention to what Powell says, honestly, from our perspective, can't really say that he's done anything wrong in the last few years, right? So let's see what he has to say. So in general, there's still going to be more tariff talk and more tariff tumult. These stories about China and the U.S. talking are good. It's progress, but we'll see where that progress leads us. And that's pretty much it. So hopefully you guys have a good week. Cinco de Mayo and all that. Hopefully you had a good, 4th for all you Star Wars fans out there. And we'll see you next time. Bye.